Also, the license, the codes are there. Although the codes are confusing, there are 3 codes, and we are asking you to also have confusion, but if you make combination, you will find it will work. Right? Anyway, try to finalize it at home, okay? So before next time, I want you to have these 2 files, the focus pattern and the crisp data on the computer, because we will need them, right? Okay, let's see. And to start. The idea today was to show you the file I have uploaded, the 2 files, right? But it's simply to discuss first some basics about Stata. So let's see. So the first thing in Stata doesn't need to do anything, right? Just be with me here, and because you don't have to do anything from now. So first we have the main page, the main panel. That here we have the results, the output, also we see some commands, right? Here we see all the commands we ask Stata to provide. Here we have a separate window to put commands if we know how to write them. We explained it. And here is where the variable will appear when I'm going to open the data set. So let's say that we want to open a data set. Okay, I go to the open, and in my folder here I have this data set DTA that I prepared. Last week, okay, and because it's a DTA, it is recognized as data. So I see, I open it, and all the variables appear here, right? They are names, the acronyms, that's how we downloaded them from CompuStat, and also they are labels. This is automatically by WRTS, not directly. You can do it, you can change the name, but okay, it's not something I did for that data set, it's automatic provided. All right, so all the variables appear here. Now you may say, okay, we don't understand much. We are more familiar to see the data, right? We don't we cannot understand much on this. So usually what we want is to see the data and we see them in Excel, right? So of course the data also in Stata, somewhere in Stata behind this, appear as they are in Stata. So if you go to data editor here, and you click, then we see how the data are entered into the system, into Stata. Okay, and they are like Excel, right? Every cell, one number or whatever is that. So we have all the variables. Here you see the variables, all the firms. And remember how we downloaded the from what we said about WRTS. All the variables start with the first firms, or sorted by one identification number, all the years, the next, all the years, and the next. So everything is entered vertically. With the red color, we have Stata put the variables. I forgot to say that all the variables are in columns, okay? So every one here, every one variable you see here, okay, is one column in this data set. So with red are the variables that Stata recognizes as character, text, right? As we call strings, okay? Because there are some letters, okay? This is why appear as red, and the black are the numbers, numeric, okay? What else? We use also this to check if the data are entered correctly. Okay, if we see something weird, or the data need to be careful. Something that Stata is different from Excel, seriously different, and from other data packages, I think, is that for empty, for missing information, Stata uses dot. So dot is for missing information, and it's different from zero. Other thing in data to say something is zero, and another to say is missing. Okay, missing doesn't mean zero, right? Excel puts blank, it's empty cell, okay, for missing information. So this creates some problems when we want to go from one data set to the other. Okay, I will explain. Okay. Now we finish with this. We can close it, this editor. And it doesn't mean that we close the data set. Okay? It's not like Excel that you close the editor and you close Excel. Okay, now that editor is behind and is running. Okay, I know it because I see the data set here. Okay, so if I need again the editor, I will open it if I need to see something. Otherwise, we don't need it. We open it just if we need to see something. All right, this is the main way to open a data set, and we do this especially when the data we have is in the DTA format data set, this data set for Stata, and like the one we have downloaded from WRTS, because we asked WRTS to download the Stata. Now, if we don't have the data set in Stata, okay, and was somebody else gave us the data set in Excel, for example, or in SPSS, or we have the data set, we have the sample, the data, but not in DTA format, in Stata format, and we want to put the data in Stata for analysis. Then we don't copy paste it. Okay, it's not proper to copy paste data from one program to the other because many mistakes can happen. For example, as I say, in one Excel it has blank for missing, the other has dot. We don't know how the conversion will behave. Or differences in the decimal symbol, dot or comma. If there are differences, will be a mess. So never copy paste. So what we do, we import data. We use the import function in Stata. For example, if you have you have this Excel file with this data, in the first row, you see I have the name of the data. And you want this to go into Stata for analysis. Okay, then we need to import this in Stata, not to copy paste. For example, how? We go File, Import, and then you have options. What you are going to import? Excel, text, SPSS, SAS. For example, you ask the data for a professor to give you to run the analysis for a different period, for example. The data possibly are in SAS. You are not going to run SAS analysis, right? You want to convert the data in Stata, so you find them and you do it like that. So now we have Excel. So I'm going to find my data set because it is Excel, only Excel file in my folder is that one. So I choose it. Here is a preview to get an idea how the data appear and see if we need to make any correction. And you see that the first row I have the data appear here as data is wrong, but because that everybody does this, so Stata recognize and provide this option to say that in the first row you have your variable names. So you click and you see your variables go, your name, the names goes as variable names, right? And okay, you see the import takes some time. This is because of the conversion. It's not like simple opening of EPA. It takes some seconds to be uploaded, to imported. So we see that the data, the variables appear there. As I said, it's good to have a look at the data to see if they look fine. Yes, this is what I had. I had blanks, so I see dots. So it looks okay. Then, if you do it once, then you save it. All right? You save it, and as you see, it is saved as DTA data set in Stata, and every time you want to use it, you open the data set, not the import. You don't import the file every time, right? Okay, I go back now to my sample. The nice feature in Stata that made it very popular nowadays, last year, is because Stata is user-friendly in the meaning that if you don't know programming or you don't like to use commands, okay, it has a very nice interface to run analysis, right? How? Let's say that we want to run summary statistics. So all statistics are under this option there. So we have all the statistics, and I think this continues more. And we want summary statistics, so we go here, summaries, and this open also this. So only for summary tables and tests, you see how many options we have, and every time you enter into one, you find more, right? So many different statistics are available in Stata, and not only summary, but imagine what's happening here. So you click, and usually you have the window that with some guidelines, what is needed. Variable, here asks you to put variables. If you don't know variable names, you leave empty. So you have the analysis for all. Otherwise, either you write the variables, if you know the names, or by scrolling down here, you choose the variables you want to make the analysis. And click. When you do this, you have the variables and the summary statistics. You want to see the analysis. Now, this is one way to do it, right? Now, every time you run something in startup, okay, there is a command behind it, okay? And this command is written every time you ask something to run, right? For example, now I ask to make this summary statistics. The command, it is called summarize. So this is summarize is the name of the command. So if I take, for example, if I write here summarize in the command window, summarize, and say, for example, if I click, the other thing you can do, you can click here, double click here. You see, if you double click here, the variable double click, then this jump here, right? So if I write there and click enter, then I have the output for these two variables. So the first thing usually to in Stata is to run, because if we don't know the names of the commands, we go to statistics, we run it in order to get the name, the name and the format. The format is simple here. For example, if you want to run the analysis for this analysis, but only for the year 2018, how we do this? I know it is with if from other experience, but how exactly? So if you don't know, go run it, because surely is provided in the window. So go to the window and see. I have the option to run this analysis only for specific year. Always these windows have this option here to run it by a group, or if something is true, and you also put weight. So if you go to if, for example, here you say, okay, run it, use the F here. The F here is a variable. Is this variable? You see, it's our variable. So F here equals to 2018, okay, and okay. And you see the output, but the reason I did it is I wanted to see the format of this. So now I understand the format. I copy this here, maybe, and I can run it for 19, for example. So it doesn't need to go every time to the menu to do the analysis. These commands here, okay, rather than going here and copy and paste it here, you can click here and this will jump in the command, right? So if I go here, you see, you click, whatever you click appears in the command window. And you just enter and you have the result. Okay, and then we go one step further, okay, because these commands will be deleted when we close the file. We want to save all these commands and whatever we do in a file, okay, and if possible to run everything from the file, right? So this is where we use the tut2 file. So you can find the tut2 file here. So create new tut2 file is like the file I uploaded in the kits. So put your codes here. So this is like an editor. So for example, I want to run for all the years I have separately. Right? Doesn't matter if they are clear or not. So you want to run, you save this, you have it for next time. But what is a nice thing now? You can run everything in the file with one click. Right? If you go here to the execute, so if I click execute, all commands will execute, right? So just to have a look, let's say I clear results, right? And I go to execute, and you see that all commands in the two files are executed, one by one. If you want to execute only this one, you just highlight some words, and it is executed only this one, or only these two, right? So whatever you like to do with this execution is really good. The nice thing with this is that you can write code in here, loops, how do you know loops, to change variables, to put more if statements. It's an editor for code, right? For writing a code in here. I will show you some of these codes more advanced, but not. Well, I'm not going to see loops in this form. The nice thing here is that you can have also the regressions. You have, for example, job you do for 2 years. Okay, I have 2 files, 30 pages for a work that runs many years. So whatever you do, you put it here. So if you want to redo the job, the analysis to bring the output, okay, you can run it with one click. And because this is not linked, it's not related to the data set, you can use the two in other data set. Okay, if, for example, you have a new data set for a different country with the same variables, you can open the data set and you run your 2 files. Whatever you did for other country, you do for this country. So the 2 file is very useful, and I suggest it when you do the project to use it, okay, to have also the information maybe 10 years later, right? To remember how you think, how you run your whole project. Okay, to finish with this, this is my computer. Okay, this is the code I have uploaded for you. Okay, I will explain what we see later. But I ask you at home, okay, to make the first command. What is the first command? Whatever I show you with summary statistics, okay, whatever you do in Stata, okay, whatever you do in Stata, even when we import the data, there is a command for the import, right? Or for when I open my file, it's not open, it says use. This is a command in Stata. So everything we do in Stata has a command behind it. And it is provided when you run it once, right? So the first thing I want you to try at home, okay, is to create your 2 file like this I have uploaded for you, and try to open your data set. You download it from the start, so you just to use the first line from this code, right? So this is the only thing I want you to have, also to have the data sets, and next time we'll continue to see what each one of these codes commands do in Stata. All right. All right. And remember that next week we say is reading week, but the next time we will see tutorials, let's be sure that we have what we say, but also we have to discuss a paper, right? So I will upload also the fourth paper to read it, and we'll discuss next time. All right, I see you later.